If positive thinking actually worked on its own, your life would already look different. So if you've been doing the affirmations and staying positive and trying to reframe your thoughts, but you still feel stuck, this isn't a mindset failure. It's because positive thinking alone is actually incomplete. Over the last 5 years, I've worked with hundreds of high achievers who were very good at positive thinking and still felt like they were failing. Once you understand why, you'll stop blaming yourself and finally know what actually creates change. We've been taught that if you just change your thoughts, everything else will follow. Think better, feel better, do better. But here's what actually happens. You try to stay positive, you tell yourself all the things will work out, you push down the negative thoughts, and when nothing changes, you don't question the method, you question yourself. Why can't I make this work? What's wrong with me? Everyone else seems to get results, why don't I? That's where the feeling of failure comes from. I know this intimately. I spent years working in a personal development environment where exponential results were talked about as normal. And yes, it was happening for some people, but most of us were sitting on the sidelines just watching. We were doing all the right things, practicing gratitude, thinking positively, taking action, and we were quietly wondering, why wasn't it working for us? When things didn't click, we didn't question the system. Subconsciously, we make it mean something about us. I wasn't good enough. I don't know enough. That's it. I just felt like I wasn't enough. And that's where comparison crept in. So on the surface, I was doing everything right, but internally, something didn't match. Positive thinking at a surface level, it couldn't override what was happening underneath. That's when I realized I couldn't outthink what needed to be healed, rewired, and addressed at an identity level. Here's the truth most people miss. Positive thinking alone does not change beliefs. Beliefs, not our thoughts, are what drive our habits, behaviors, and identity. If the belief underneath it is, I'm not good enough, or who am I to achieve X, Y, or Z, or who is going to listen to me, who is going to listen to what I have to say, then positive thoughts will just sit on top of a system that hasn't changed. When your actions don't match your thoughts, your brain uses that as proof, and that belief is then perceived as proof. This is why positive thinking can actually make self-sabotage worse. Most people skip the most important part. That's self-compassion. Instead of asking, what is this habit protecting me from? They go straight to, why can't I do this? Positive thinking without compassion turns into pressure. For most people, self-compassion isn't a default setting. We are way too hard on ourselves. We're way too judgmental on ourselves, and we make everything mean something personally about ourselves. That pressure creates avoidance, procrastination, burnout. It does not create change. So here was my turning point. Nothing changed when I tried to think more positively. Things changed when I stopped using positive thinking to override what I was actually feeling. Instead of asking, how do I think better? How can I think better? I started asking myself, what belief is running this and what is it trying to protect me from? I stopped making discomfort mean failure. I stopped making setbacks mean something about my worth. And I stopped forcing myself to be positive when my internal reality did not match. That's when my actions started to change naturally. I wasn't pushing any harder. I felt safer to move. That shift is what allowed more consistency to emerge without self-pressure. That's what made change sustainable. Real change requires 3 things working together: belief changed, aligned action, and self-compassion. You cannot think your way into a new identity. You have to live it gently, imperfectly, but consistently. When one of these pieces is missing, you stay stuck in a stop-start cycle. It's not a willpower issue, it's an identity issue. I've put together the exact process I used to uncover the beliefs behind my habits and change them without forcing discipline. And you can download it for free now. The link is in the description. If positive thinking alone worked, you wouldn't feel like you're failing. You're not broken. You're not behind. You've just been given an incomplete formula, and now you know what actually creates change. So here's another video that will continue to build on this idea so that you can continue to make those shifts so that you build the capacity to actually embody the positive thinking.